Hello, welcome. Dunkermat channel. Check out this birch tree. Strung up on the ash by all the vines. I think I'm going to have to monkey my way up this ash tree and cut the vines up there if I want to get this thing down. It's a cool shape. I feel like I could do something with it. Burn it, probably. Now, alright, so I have a plan, a presentation, 420J2 steel. I got interested, I got excited around the time of my Swedgelord project. Now, I am 90% sure this is 420J2, but I think they just label it as 420, and then I concluded that it must be J2. So I might have to look into that, but this was originally the Camillus Swedge knife, $20 hardware store knife. I modified it in various ways, changed the profile, changed the grind, changed the handle, changed pretty much everything really, but retained, you know, some of the original handle material underneath this twine epoxy and this marvelous 420J2 steel. And it originally had this kind of file on the spine, kept a little bit of that for jimping, and I just discovered I can hone on with this on the brush hook. It works really well. I brought up a wicked edge using this, like a honing steel, you know, but it's got that extra abrasivity. Also makes for really good jimping. So stuck the El Chete in here by way of a camera stand. So I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to show off some delightful 420J2 blades that I have acquired. It's going to be a bit of a spectacle, hopefully. Now, we got some clues here. I can see Testy. I can see Kai. Yeah, we're going to figure out mostly what things are and intended use and that kind of thing. Well, let's start by looking at the... Oh, I showed you the Swedgelord. So this is another knife I have in 420J2 that gets quite a lot of use. This is actually possibly my favorite box cutter at the moment. I was more in the habit of using, you know, shorter, slicey bladed knives, but once I tried this one out, I thought maybe there's no going back because the extra blade length and you know, the grind is just ideal for box slicing, and it doesn't hold an edge that well. Granted, that's supposed to be the problem with 420J2. You know, it's the main issue, I suppose, negative, but it does okay, and it's very easy to sharpen, touch up. And even if this doesn't have that much of an apex, it'll still slice through cardboard better than a lot of knives out there, just on account of the geometry. So, yeah, we could use this one. So, yeah, the other night, must have been the night before last, this came quickly, this package. I just decided I need more 420J2 in my life. And I ended up in Knife Center, I think it was. You know, because they just had a list of 420J2 knives. But they also had these for $5. It's a pack of 7. Gerber blades, exchangeable. I just saw that and thought, wow, that's, you know, they're trying to get rid of these ones. It's the blunt tip. They didn't have the sharp tip, so I guess this is like a clearance deal. You know, they just wanted rid of them. So what was it, like $5 for? I think it's 7 blades in here. No, 5. Right. So $1 a blade. I thought, well, I could probably make some cool little knives or use them in some way or something. Let me try. So, excuse me, I'm just buttoning up my shirt. The cold is arriving. The clouds. The cold. It's been hot today because I've been slashing and burning, and you know that's hard work, and then you're next to the fire. But yeah, I was just in a t-shirt, now it's cooled down. Okay. Let's have a little look at one of these. Okay, so this is a pack. This is, I guess it's you're supposed to carry your used ones in here. And they've just got one in there for demonstration, and then the other 5 are going to be in here. Aha. With this thing to stop them from rattling around. Don't know what I'll do with this box. Kind of a cool little box, though. High vis. I made a video the other day about what I was calling single unit knives. Did Jimbus Maximus and I come up with an even better terminology? Or did we decide that that was a good terminology? Anyway, single unit knives, because, you know, it's an integral construction and there are no scales or anything. You can have a lanyard, I guess. Maybe we're saying that doesn't count. But, you know, the blade, the handle, everything is one. The guard, if it's got one, you know, it's all one piece. And then a viewer, I forget the name, excuse me, viewer. Maybe I'll try and message, you know, let you know I'm making this video, because a viewer said somebody should cover the CRKT testy. There aren't many reviews or any reviews. So here we have it. I said, oh yeah, definitely, I'll look into that, and forgot to do that. Forgot to immediately go and look at it. But lo and behold, this is a knife in 420J2, so I ended up getting one. And another point protection for the point protector collection. That's pretty neat. This looks like a good neck knife option to me. That's very lightweight. About a 3-inch blade, 2.5 maybe, 2 3/4. Really sharp, seems to me. Yeah. Nice grind, robust. The handle, like a full-length handle. Good grip on it because of this texturing. Well, full length. I'm getting like a 3.5. But yeah, of course you choke up. You get the 4 fingers. Sweet. Well, I'll put this on a lanyard and carry it on my neck, I reckon, for a day or so. See how I like it. You know, it's just a little naff for me. It's the angularity. Needs a little chamfering, I think. That would help a lot. Tidy little chamfer on this. Just looks a little cheesy. But also I like the way they've done this, so you can put a wrap in here. I was thinking a twine epoxy wrap would be quite cool. Or I guess you could use that. Well, you could use this in various ways to install scales or whatever. Yeah. Looks like a really nice little whittling blade. So, oh, my nose is running. Excuse me. That to one side. Now this looks really cool, and I'm especially keen on this bit here. Arête tranchante comme un rasoir de 16 degrees. Razor sharp. It's even got a backstory. You've ever been to a restaurant and struggled to cut your food with a dull knife served up with your meal, the answer is the Kai personal steak knife, kept discreetly in its own leather sheath, in pocket or purse. This folding knife is lightweight and razor sharp, and your dining dilemma is solved. I will not subject you to the entire thing in French. Here, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. Look, they've made a little dotted line all the way around, so you know not to go in there with your knife, because in my experience cutting kitchen roll, the dotted line really fouls your cut. So we'll just try and go in between the dotted lines with the testing. Yeah, it cuts. Okay, now I'm very curious, because they say leather. Is this really leather? Really, really, truly real leather? Oh man, you know, they're kind of... I'm worried about cutting the leather. Maybe I'm going to have to go in... It's alright, guys and gals. I've got the solution. The fingernail in a pocket. Unbreakable. Real leather? What do we reckon? No. I don't think that's real leather. I think that's pleather. I guess we'd have to make a little burning test. Maybe, I mean, actually, I don't know now. I don't know. Maybe it's real leather. Fire should be conclusive. Okay. Yeah, that is actually leather. Genuine leather. Sweet. Good old Kai. Good old Kai. Nice one, Kais. Alright. You won me over with the dotted line thing, Kai. You know what you're doing. Still need a Rough Rider auxiliary to do it with grace. Look at this thing. That is unusual. I got like a 4.5 maybe inch blade. Okay, it doesn't full shut. It's got more of the hydraulic feel to it. Oh, that's nice. Yep. Oh man. I seem to recall having left a waterlogged slingshot blank somewhere. Gotta have something around here to whittle on. Where are you? Where are you? Here it is. Nice and asymmetrical. Let's see how this 16-degree edge cuts in. Okay, this whole thing feels maybe a little flexible. In a controlled way, not a bad way necessarily. Excuse me if I was a little off camera there. Wow. So, I mean, this would have to be a really awesome box cutter too, I think. It's quite slicey. I mean, it's quite thin and slender, and that recurve, and... what a cool knife. It's even got this kind of mosaic pin. Yeah, that is... It's a little proud. I can feel that's genuine mosaic pin. Awesome. Okay, no more packages. We've opened all the packages. A little... Open Opening and closing. Okay, that's cool. They give you instructions. 5-year warranty. Ah. Ouvrir et fermer votre steak knife personnel. I don't think that's correct. With an S. Personnel with an S. That would be plural, wouldn't it? Well, no, I'm probably wrong. I'm not really formally a French speaker. Just did a little bit of that at school. How else? How else would you? Yeah, I'm keen on it. I'm keen. That's pretty cool. Lightweight. Let's check the fitment in the girly man's knife purse. Ooh wee! Oh, lovely. And one more. I left the box back up at the house, but I got one more. I have a knife from Ocaso. This is not. This is just a wee knife pouch that I put the thing in. Ocaso knives. And I'd seen this funny desk display knife pair scissor thing with this stand. I thought it was kind of cool, but I wasn't going to buy it. You know, it just seemed kind of pointless. Until I discovered that it's made out of 420J2, and then I just said, okay. So they do a Warncliffe, and they do I think it's a drop point of the same kind of thing. And it's 2 chisel ground knives stuck together with magnets. And in principle, you can do scissor work with it. Now, I haven't tested this at all yet, but maybe we can... You know, I suspect that if I try with the card, it's going to pop apart, but... Okay. Well, maybe we should just try and see what... Oh, well, I guess, you know, you just clench them together with your hand like this, and then they won't pop apart. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's try some plastic. It's a nice bit of... Well, actually, this plastic... Sometimes I see things like this, I want to keep them for mixing epoxy. It's kind of weird, but... Okay. Kind of cool. Okay, that's awesome. Right, let's try whittling. So what I was wondering is, so can you put them together like this and then whittle? Do you get like a double edge effect? I mean, okay, you can put them together and whittle, and you get a chunky geometry, right? Super chunky. Now, I guess also in that regard, to have them as... Okay, right, because usually with a chisel ground knife, I would want to convex this a little bit. Otherwise, this side is just going to want to cut in and not cut out, you know? All right, it'll just break out. But that's fine. Because you just use it the other way around. Use this. You could still use this side for... Wait. Right, so then I would want this one. Use the flat for something like this. Oh, handle's too small. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It only cuts in. But that's fine, because you got one for each. You got one for each direction. It's not a very comfortable handle. Like that. But like this, that's quite cool. It's quite good. So why 420J2? Well, it's inexpensive. That's probably the number one. But, that's not necessarily just a motivator for me. I wouldn't buy things just because they're cheap. But that is a factor of why 420J2 is commonly used. Apparently more commonly used in scissors, actually, and things like that as well. Maybe some kitchen equipment that slices or things like that. So it's very stainless because it's very low carbon. And I believe that it has a very refined kind of grain structure as a result. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about but it reminds me of AEBL. Okay, when I use this Swedge Lord, the feel of it is that it's very smooth. It's such a smooth feeling when it cuts. So this is not a super keen cutter, but it's just nice, And the edge wears very predictably. And here's the thing about edge retention, right? When you get figures for edge retention, this is the edge is being tested, cutting things. Usually, I don't know, what is it? The Katra test, they're cutting a little nylon cord, or people will do. Well, no, wait, that's not edge retention. Well, that's how you test whether or not you test the apex, but you're testing edge wear on things like cardboard, let's say, or rope cutting. And that has a very different effect on an edge from what I'm chiefly doing with a lot of my knives is, chiefly, I don't know, but what I like to do is this, woodwork. Green wood, seasoned wood, and mainly hard woods. So the way I see it is, if you're cutting cardboard, that's abrasive. You're abrading the edge, right? And so this 420J2 is probably not very hard. The hardest you'll probably get it, maybe high 50s. And it wears quite easily. It takes scratches easily. It also sharpens easily. But yeah, you won't get great edge retention cutting cardboard. But what happens when you use this to whittle wood? Carving green wood like this, yes, it's abrasive, but it's mildly abrasive. But what's happening to your apex when you have a nice fine apex and it's going through the grain is, the grain is exerting an influence, a pressure, variable pressure, right? Because the grain is going this way, that way. Generally, it's more or less straight until you're getting into knots and things. But even so, it goes its way, and you want to go your way, and the blade, the apex is going, it's kind of flexing and moving around as it's pushing through that grain. And so now, what happens when you use a high edge retention steel, like my beloved ZDP 189? Well, what I seem to have noticed is that I'll take this and I'll start carving with a nice sharp knife, ZDP 189, and it'll be mind-blowing. It'll be so great. But after a while, I'm like, well, this doesn't feel so sharp anymore. And there's nothing visibly wrong with the edge, right? But the edge has dulled somehow, right? And I think that what it is it's mechanical stress. It's the stress on the apex of the, everything being, all the little micro serrations at the edge there, getting paper clipped, right? On these brittle, high hardness super steels. They may not be that brittle, they may be relatively ductile, but when it's harder, it's always going to be more brittle, right? And so then what's causing your edge wear, what you perceive as wear, isn't really wear. It's not abrasion, it's mechanical failure. It's the paperclip effect, micro chipping off your apex. And so you end up with the apex is now wrecked, right? And you got a long way to go to get that apex back to that mind-blowing performance, because you have to remove a fair amount of extremely hard steel now to get that great apex back. Okay, that's fine, especially if you have power grinding equipment. I have a Tormec with diamond and CBN wheels and stuff, so I could do that.